Alright, let's give this little super stock BZ some love. First of all, we're going to blow it out with the compressor. Alright, so I don't know if the camera actually picked that up, how much dirt and dust came out of that motor when we blew it out, but there was quite a lot. So our initial idea was to fill up our little jar with some demineralized water, and then we found out it's not recommended to fully submerge a motor with a circuit board into water, and that's all I needed to hear to go, nope, we're not doing it. I wasn't really sure about doing it in the first place, so the water can go away. We do have our contact cleaner in our trusty 3-in-1 oil. I have a can of Courage. So first thing I'm going to do is take the brushes out. Now everything we do and say in this video, take it with at least 5 to 6 grains of salt. My knowledge of electrical components is average at best, and my knowledge of DC motors is around about the same. I've never had to rebuild one. I've rarely had the first brush spring. I've never had to replace brushes on a motor. Most of the motors I've ever run have just been the stock silver cans and sport tunes and motors that aren't serviceable. So just having a look at the brushes here now. Again, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I know it's a brush. I know it's supposed to conform to the roundy round thing in there. Is it the armature or the commutator that the brushes run on? It's one of those two things. I think it's the comms. I think the armature's the bit with the winding. See, very limited knowledge, but we're giving it a go. Now I can see some jaggedy bits. Oh, sorry, Zach's just putting me back into the frame. I was seeing some jaggedy bits on that brush. No idea how to clean brushes without deforming that established radii. But they just pretty much just fell off, those jaggedy bits. Okay, we'll have a look at the other one. Yes, do not use this video as a guide on how to service a brushed motor. We're pretty much learning as we go here, so I don't know if you can see, but a few jaggedy bits. Like I said, I don't know what they're supposed to look like. I don't know what looks bad or what looks good. I do know that if they're shiny, they work better. So we might actually just really quickly hit them with a round file, just to give them a bit of a clean up. Okay, so we have this sort of half round file, which is pretty much the spot on radius. I don't know if you can see. Focus, you probably can't see real good, but it's pretty close to the right radius. So just giving that a light scuff up, and that's made the surface a lot cleaner. If you compare it with this one, doesn't look that different on camera. So we're just giving this one just a light hit. Yeah, it does look a lot better. Now I'm just going to spray with the clean. I don't know how you're supposed to get in there to clean up the comms, if that's what they're called. I'm going to give the brushes a bit of a hit. Might as well give inside a good spray. All the windings. I know that much. All the windings. I actually should be doing this in a jar so that we can see how much if any like dirt we're getting out of it. I don't know if you're supposed to flood these motors with this stuff or not, but we're doing what we're doing. That feels a lot freer than it did. Don't know if that's because the brushes aren't up against the... And yes, I'll show you that in a minute, but that is very, very dirty. Even after we blew the motor out with the compressed air. I'm just going to keep spraying it and spinning it. Give it another bit of a hit. Alright, so I'm just going to let that sit off to the side, because this stuff dries off fairly quick. It's already dry on my fingers. It says here residue free, so yes, there's no oily feelings in there. If we can take that camera out of the tripod there, Zach, we can get a look inside this jar. This jar was clean, I assure you, and you can see how dirty that solution is. That contact cleaner. There's even a couple of big floaty bits. Yeah, there's one right there. So yeah, even after blowing it out with the compressed air, there was still a lot of crap in the motor. So we're going to let that sit and dry out. Then we're going to basically just put the brushes back in and just give it a quick run with our tester, and let those brushes reseat against that surface. Looking in there, you can't see. You can sort of see. The comm, if that's what it's called, actually looks very clean. Doesn't look like there's a lot of I know we just cleaned it, but doesn't look like there's a lot of like scratches or anything damaging or untoward in there. So yep, we'll let that sit. We'll have another drink of courage. We'll put it back together and give it a run. Actually, we're going to oil it first before we run it, and that'll be about it. Okay, so now we've got you zoomed right in here so you can see. Now we're going to just oil up the bushes. So a lot easier if I took the pinion off first. Right. So there's just a bit of... Hey, where are you? There you are. There's some oil pulled up on top of that bush there. So I'm just going to... Zach's going to sneeze. I'm just going to leave that sitting in the vise. I'll give it a spin every now and then. And just let that oil work its way in. I'll probably let that sit for about 5 minutes. Then we'll come back and do the rear of the motor. We'll do the same thing. We'll wipe off the excess. And that'll be that. Then we can put the brushes back in, and then the motor should be good to go. Now, if you just zoom out for a sec. So, contact cleaner, obviously great for cleaning electrical components. It's also a very good degreaser. It will clean grease and oils very well. use a lot of it to do it, but it does clean it very well. So clean the motor out with your contact cleaner before you apply the oil. If you put the oil in, then clean it out with that stuff, it's just going to get rid of the oil. And then your bush will be running dry, and that's no good. So that's my little tip. So we'll bring you back when we're ready to put the brushes in. Okay, just to show you what I mean about this being a very good degreaser, I'm just going to drop some oil on the vise there. Just gives this a quick spray. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. You can still see the wet part of the oil there, but you can see it's actually basically just eating into the oil and pretty much getting rid of it. The oil's actually spreading out with the cleaner. So, and if you wipe it off, that oil's gone. So, like I said, contact cleaner first and then oil, not the other way around. Okay, so we've let that motor sit with oil soaking into each bush. We did actually go online and learn the terminology of the parts in a DC motor, and yeah, I was right. That is a commutator that the brushes run on, and that is the armature, and your magnets are the stator magnets. So yeah, I was on the right track. So we can get these brushes back in, and while I'm doing this, I'm just going to say, Uncle Bob, if you're watching, please leave us a comment. These springs are, well, for me anyway, they're a bit fiddly. Yeah, please, Uncle Bob. I keep almost calling you Dr. Bob, but yeah, if you'd like to leave a couple of comments and tell us if we're doing things right, if we're doing things wrong, if we're doing anything silly, that'd be great, because I know you do know a lot about this sort of stuff. A lot more than me anyway, which isn't hard. So there's our brushes reinstalled, and yes, those brushes do put a lot of drag on the motor. When we were spinning this before, that pinion would spin for a lot longer than that. So now I think we're just going to, we might set it up this way. I'm just going to run some power through this motor. And just let it run for a few minutes. We are running 3 volts. Before we did anything with the motor as far as cleaning goes, when we hooked up 3 volts, we needed to give it a bit of a jump start to get going. So let's just see what it does now. It wants to. Give it a bit of a jump start and away she goes. You can probably hear it running. I don't recommend doing this, putting a rag near a pinion when it's spinning like that, but just wanted to wipe up some of that excess oil. So we're just going to let that run for a little bit, not too much, not for too long. Again, no idea what I'm doing, but just to get those brushes seated again. You might be able to hear the RPM fluctuating. I think that's just maybe a couple of flat AA batteries. Again, no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And that's how we cleaned up our Tamiya Superstock BZ motor. Now you can go online and obviously watch a few videos and learn how to do it properly, but we like to learn by doing, and especially by doing something and making mistakes and learning from the actual mistakes instead of just learning how to do it properly the first time. Because if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn about the bad things that can happen when you do make a mistake. So that's how we basically learn how to do things. So that's our not very informative video on cleaning out a brushed motor. Again, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Have a great day. We're going to go and put this back in the Porsche and see how it goes.